Hey y'all, welcome back to Between a Hot Mess and a Therapist, your not so typical self-help podcast for high responsibility helpers who are tired of pretending they are fine. I'm your host, Shawna Lovin, a seasoned therapist, Texas LPC supervisor, 3-5 emotional projector, and a total tree-hugging auntie rebel who believes healing can be natural. Of course, with compassion and a little cussing. If you're watching on YouTube, listening in your car, hiding in the bathroom at work, or staring at your ceiling at 2 a.m., baby, I already know what kind of week you're having. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfy, and let's dive in. I have a little confession that feels a little embarrassing to actually admit as a therapist. I knew what burnout looked like. I knew the research. I knew the importance of boundaries, rest, sleep, movement, and nervous system regulation. I knew all of it. I've taught it and could teach it in my sleep. I've supervised around it. I've encouraged other people to practice it. And yet, there came a point where I had to admit something that I really didn't want to. I could not self-care my way out of burnout. Not with another walk, not with another boundary script, not with another planner, not with another vacation, not with another reminder to quote unquote take care of yourself. Don't get me wrong. All those things do matter. They help me cope. They help me recover even enough to just show up or keep showing up. But they weren't changing the deeper problem. And I think that's where so many helpers get stuck because we keep trying to recover from life that is asking too much from us in the first place. Recovery and redesigning your life are not the same thing. I think somewhere along the way, we started treating self-care like it was the answer to everything. Burn out, take a vacation. Overwhelmed, set better boundaries. Exhausted, go get a massage. Take a bath, light a candle, go touch some grass. And before anybody gets defensive and come at me in the comments, I love nature. I love to fish. I love to garden. I fully believe that having a different sky is medicine and different water can be medicine as well. I am not anti-self-care. I am anti-pretending that self-care can solve all of our problems as if it was never designed to solve in the first place. Because self-care helps you recover, but it doesn't help you redesign your life. And there's the difference. The more I've thought about it, the more I realized that burnout usually isn't happening for just one reason or another, especially if you're a helper. I think it's happening in 4 different levels of our life at the same time. And until we start talking about all 4, we're going to keep blaming ourselves for something that's much bigger than all of us. The first layer is the psychological layer. Somewhere along the way, many of us learned that rest had to be earned, that productivity made us valuable, that saying yes made us a good therapist, a good nurse, a good mom, a good employee, a good helper. We carry the invisible belief that if we slow down, even just enough, somebody else has to carry more. So even when we finally just sit down, our brain doesn't naturally stop. We feel guilty for resting. We feel selfish for saying no. We start relaxing and then immediately think about, oh, I need to do the laundry or that email inbox. Or we think about a client we forgot to email back. Or Our nervous system doesn't know what to do with stillness because we spent so many years teaching them that it's useful for us and safer for us than it is just to sit still and rest. The second reason is systemic. Yes, it is. And I really need us to stop pretending every burnout problem is an individual problem. Some workplaces simply aren't built for healthy humans. They're built for productivity. In fact, the work-life balance term comes from a place of productivity more than, say, 30 years ago at this point. You know, the productivity is around coverage, for the numbers, for the efficiency. And you have amazing boundaries, and you can still work inside of a system that rewards over functioning. I've worked in some of those systems myself. Maybe you have too. And that's something that your yoga mat is not going to help you with. The third one, honestly, I think it's one of the harder ones. It's the identity, especially in midlife, especially if you are a Gen Xer, because we've spent decades becoming the dependable one, the capable one, the one who figures it out, the one everybody calls. So who are you really? If you're not a helper, if you're not producing, if you're not fixing, sometimes burnout isn't attached to your schedule. It's actually attached to a version of yourself that you've been trying to maintain all this time. And in midlife has some rude way of actually exposing that, because your body eventually says, I can't keep carrying an identity that costs this much. Your body gets louder than your conditioning. And once that starts happening, it's so hard to really ignore. The fourth one is the reason that changed everything for me. It's more about being specific. More self-care advice is incredibly generic. Sleep more, exercise more, journal more, meditate, take breaks. Again, those are not bad ideas, but they are based in the assumption that everybody regulates the same way. Everybody makes decisions the same way. Everybody restores the same way. Everybody has the same capacity. And that's not the simple truth of things. And this is where human design came into my life. Now, listen. I know some of y'all hear human design and y'all immediately think, oh, great, another personality test. That wasn't my experience. And that's not actually really what it is. I wasn't looking for another label. I was looking for language. Language for why certain things felt so much more expensive than the way they actually looked. Language for my capacity. Maybe around my decision making, my energy, my pace, the environments where I naturally settle instead of embracing. I didn't tell myself who I was, or it didn't tell me who I was. It actually stopped, arguing with who I already was. And this is the point of when you start living according to your design, you just let things naturally happen and things naturally just come to you. And that was a huge shift for me, because I stopped asking myself, what's wrong with me? And I actually started asking, what actually fits me? That is a completely different conversation. Human design did not fix my burnout. Let me say that for the people in the back. Human design did not fix my burnout, but it helped me understand it. It helped me stop making everything a character issue. Like, maybe I'm lazy, maybe I'm depleted, maybe I'm failing, maybe I spent too many years forcing myself into rhythms, expectations, and environments that cost me more than I actually realized. That is information and it's not failure. That was also the beginning of something much bigger. Excuse me. It was the beginning of building a different life on purpose. Not because I wanted to leave therapy. I still love the work and the people that I work with. But I realized that I had been asking one career to meet financial needs, every creative need, every identity need, and every retirement need. And that's too much pressure to put on one profession. So we started building 1020 Quartermaster. I leaned back into creativity and I started paying attention to the environments that actually restore me. I started making decisions that honored my capacity instead of constantly overriding it. None of this happened overnight, but I'm still building, I'm still learning, I'm still catching myself slipping back into old patterns from time to time. But now I have language for what is happening, and that changes everything. It's just about understanding who you are, how you operate, and how you move through this world, and how you respond to the world. So maybe the question isn't what self-care routine am I missing? Maybe the better question is what part of my life keeps requiring recovery? Because those are two very different questions. One question may ask you to manage your system, and the other asks you to examine the actual structure. If you've been doing all the right things and you're still exhausted, I want you to hear this. You're not broken. You're not failing at self-care. You may simply be trying to recover inside a life that is asking your nervous system to carry way more than it was ever designed to carry. And if that's where you are, that's exactly why I created the Messy Middle Blueprint. It's a personalized human design reading through the lens of nervous system, your capacity, your decision making, your environments, your digestion, just different aspects, the season of the life that you're actually in. This is not a personality test. This is not another checklist. This is a practical roadmap to help you understand where your energy leaks, what generally restores you, and how to start building a life that fits the person you've become, not just the one that you've spent years trying to be. If you are ready to stop asking what's wrong with me and start asking what actually fits me, you can request your Messy Middle Blueprint through the link below. I hope that you found this episode helpful, and until next time. All right, my loves, that's another episode in the books, and I'm out. Now, I need you to go drink some water, touch some grass, get a sip of sunlight, take a pause, and stop acting like your nervous system is optional. And yes, you are basically a houseplant with complicated emotions. If you needed this today, tell me about it, tell me what landed, hit follow, and send this to the I'm fine friend who is absolutely not fine, and you know who I'm talking about. And if you want to work with me, everything you need is linked in the show notes because Auntie doesn't do energy sucking DMs. Okay, love you. Bye.